I'd like to call the meeting to order. Statement of notification, please.
In compliance with Chapter 231 of Public Law of 1975, notice of this meeting to be held at the Criminal Justice Building, 61 Main Street, South River, has been published in the Home News Tribune on December 1st, 2021, posted on the Municipal Building Bulletin Board, the Borough website, and the front door of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street, South River.
Roll call, please.
For the record, Mayor Penzel is absent this evening. Councilwoman Ballas. Here. Councilman Gindi.
Here.
Councilman Gerchinsky.
Here.
Councilwoman Mira. Here. Councilman Olivera.
Here.
And Council President Seola.
Here. Please rise to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Give a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Okay, we have no proclamations tonight, no executive session. Our agenda session,
CFO.
We have a bond anticipation note series 2021A. There's going to be two bond sales, advance sales this year. This is the first one. It's a very small note for $43,000 in the parking utility. The electric utility lets the parking utility borrow it at 0%. We just had our second band sale, which is going to be on the 12/27 meeting, and we got a 0.433 interest rate, which is outstanding. But you'll see that on the next meeting. But this is required by law to have it on the agenda.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Joe? Okay, hearing none. Let's move to our ordinance for a second reading.
Councilman Seola, I'd like to pull 2021-24 to be moved to the December 27th meeting. I understand that public safety has not met with them yet. Can you give me an opportunity to do so?
All right, we have a motion on the floor to move 2021-24 to the December 27th meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Jason. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. So carried. So that 2021-24 will now be moved to the December 27th meeting at 7 o'clock. Yes,
Could you just do a roll call on that one? Just
sure.
to adjourn it?
I have a quick question before we do the roll call. Are we still, supposed to allow for discussion with that ordinance, or we're just pulling?
Well, we can open it for public hearing if we would like to, otherwise we need to re-advertise. The public hearing will be on the December, I'm sorry, 27th meeting.
I'm only asking because we know there's members of the public that are here to discuss that, or we want to, they want to still speak today, or wait until the 27th? Whose call is that?
It's council's call. Are you gonna open it up for a public hearing, or are you gonna adjourn the public hearing until?
What's the council's pleasure?
We'll adjourn it, right? We'll adjourn it.
Adjourn it?
You kidding?
You got it.
Wow.
Kidding.
Yeah. Nice.
Really? We'll be here again.
Smart guys, real smart.
It's not yours.
It's not your ordinance, it's not yours.
He
And
gets
just so
the-
everybody knows, when we're having the meeting, you have a turn to speak as on the public. Other than that, please remain quiet in this seat.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion and second to carry this ordinance to the December 27th meeting at 7 p.m. at the Criminal Justice Building, 61 Main Street, South. Roll call?
Councilwoman Ballas.
Yes.
Councilman Gindi.
Yes.
Councilman Gerchinsky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira.
No.
Councilman Olivera.
Yes.
And Council President Seola.
Yes.
So I will be re-advertising
Yes.
in the Home
Re-advertise
News.
for
Yes.
public hearing for December 22nd,
Thank you.
7 p.m.
Okay.
Sorry, Commissioner.
Okay. Second reading, which would be for 2021-19.
An ordinance to amend the Borough of South River, Chapter 155-19.1, Section 22-62, to add cheerleading class fees.
Do Motion to waive the full reading.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
This time I'd like to open up to the public. Anyone here from the public that would like to speak on 2021-19? On first call, second call, third and final call.
Motion closed.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
May I have a motion to adopt
Motion to
ordinance?
adopt 2021-19.
For a second?
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Gerchinsky?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira?
Yes.
Councilman Olivera?
Yes.
And Council President Seola?
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-22, an ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending the Borough Code of the Borough of South River as to amend Chapter 350 entitled zoning. This is for the tree fund.
Motion to waive the full reading.
Second.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to open up 2021-22 for a public hearing. Anyone here from the public that would like to speak on this ordinance? First call, second call, third and final call.
Motion to close.
Second. All in favor? We have a motion on this ordinance?
Motion.
Do you have a second? Second. Pete, second by Jim. Roll call?
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Gerchinsky?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira?
Yes.
Councilman Olivera?
Yes.
And Council President Seola?
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-23, an ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending the Borough Code of the Borough of South River as to amend Chapter 155 entitled Fees. This would be for the athletic lighting fees.
Motion to.
Motion, waive the full reading.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, I'd like to open up 2021-23 for public comment. Anyone here from the public that'd like to speak on this ordinance, please come forward, state your name and address. You have 10 minutes.
Telly Gurgadelis, 93 James Street. I know you guys waived the full reading, but I don't know if you want to get on record what the changes are. $50 for fee is now going to $75 and $100 plus some other lighting. I've got an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old little girl who a couple years ago we found a program that they can play the sport that I grew up playing and loved, soccer. I was so excited I became their coach when they were 5 years old and was growing with them over the last couple of years. My oldest went to travel. I became a state certified New Jersey youth soccer coach so I can continue coaching as my 5-year-old starts playing in the younger teams. Saturdays you go down to Varga Park, a park that's been pretty much deserted for years, now has 100 to 200 people down there all watching their kids play and using it, which has not been done. Now we've got a program that has over 120 kids. Most of those kids, I think 90% or so, are from South River. Their parents live here. And you as the Borough Council, instead of turning around and say, wow, what a great program this is, how can we help build a better program for our kids to get more involved and get stuff going? What you guys decided to do is, hey, how can we milk more money out of these guys because it's a successful program? That doesn't make sense. At the last meeting, Councilman Oliveira, you made a comment that said, I'm so glad this ordinance is finally through because DPW is being hampered by costs. The DPW director is here at every single meeting. He has never once said, oh my God, these soccer players are killing my budget. Where did you find out that all of a sudden we're losing money on these fields?
Well, they have to pay for supplies.
What supplies? This program, 3 years ago, 4 years ago when it started, bought their own sod for Pacers because it was unplayable. You even made a walkthrough there and were appalled that the town was not helping them with that and he was doing it on his own. The lines down at Varga Park have never been done by the town. They've been done by the program. The lines at Veterans are being done by the town because the high school also uses it. So you guys are doing it anyway, so there's no extra fee for this. And third, we got parents and this program cutting the grass for our kids to play in a public park in South River. ordinance used to say Borough Youth Teams. Okay, this is a Borough Youth Team, South River Future Stars. Over 100 kids from this town are playing on it. The new ordinance, what does it say? Borough-sponsored recreation. What's the definition of a borough-sponsored?
Yes.
Do you have to file an application? Do you have to go out to public bid? What is the definition of borough-sponsored? You're on the Parks and Recs, you're the liaison, right, Mr. Gindy?
I will have my words in your own.
Okay, I'm asking a question now, so it can be answered.
So it's a borough-sponsored recreational facility. It's a fundamental soccer that we have a program going. We have nothing to do with this league.
I didn't say you did.
No, hold on. So, you just said something in the beginning of your wording. You said you're raising the fees. Did you not say that?
It did, yeah, because it's going from 50 to, actually from 0 to 200.
He doesn't pay for anything like that.
What's that?
He doesn't pay for
I
anything.
know,
Okay,
because
so
all the kids
you're
are
saying-
from South River.
So you're saying that a private business is allowed to use borough property in Bangkok. Is that what you're saying, sir?
I'm saying a program that has over 100 kids from South River,
I'm okay
the
with
town should be helping them grow the program.
that.
Not use a legal term right now to say a business is gonna pay versus not pay.
So you're
Alright.
saying that we offered, no, hold on, if you're saying we offered the program from the town to Mr. Texera, you would be okay with that?
If you offered so you telling me
he
he's got,
he would be under the South River
So-
recreational.
you're saying he should dissolve his program that's doing great and bring it under the town
I
management?
never said that, because other townships are actually doing something of this nature.
Okay.
So are you saying?
I'm not saying anything. Don't say I'm saying, Mr. Gandy. Don't throw words in my mouth.
Well, here's the problem I
Okay,
have.
tell me what you're saying.
All right,
Tell me what you're saying.
here's
Don't tell me what I'm saying.
All right, this is what I'm saying. Unfortunately, this is how I look at it. You have a private entity that uses the borough property, which is fine. I'm okay with it. There's other private entities that are using our properties as well as we speak today. They pay into the system.
Who?
Whoever comes and rents the fields.
Outside of South River. Outside of
My
South River.
question to you is it okay for the average borough taxpayer to pay into the system? That he's actually profiting off of it?
All the borough taxpayers whose kids are playing for this league?
I'm asking you a question, yes or no?
And I'm saying yes, because these guys are all residents of this town that are paying into it.
Hey, listen,
You guys don't cut your fields, we have to cut a field.
so you're saying the
Okay,
DPW doesn't.
I was on the Parks and Recreation Committee years and years ago. Part of where that original ordinance came from, I think I was on the rec when that was there. And although, yes, is there a cost for the fields and the lights? Absolutely. That's why the wording was, on exclusion, borough youth teams shall be absorbed by the borough. Because teams that were from South River and using players and running and volunteers and doing everything we're doing, we shouldn't pay an extra, what, $9,000 a year? If you guys need to save a couple $1,000s, do it somewhere else. Not in the back of the kids.
All right, well,
Thanks.
thank you.
Don't worry, I have a nice speech that I've prepared for you. Very nervous up here standing in front of you all. Obviously, I am part of the South River Future Stars
Your name and
program.
address,
My name
please.
is Jackie, I'm from Old Bridge. I have been working with Tony since he started this program with 27 children. I have 3 children here with me this evening who are part of the program, who have been part of the program since the beginning. Basically, I'm here to help support Tony and the club. He started the club with a vision to create a safe and fun learning environment at an affordable rate, so that way everybody can be a part of the program. He wants to make sure that the kids are able to have an opportunity to succeed not only in the sport that they love, but also learning life skills. You're talking about teamwork, responsibility, dedication, hard work, that I'm sure all of you would agree is part of what kids need in today's society. This should be seen as a positive and as a benefit to the community. Tony is a benefit to this community, because right now, he is the only person I see who's making decisions based on what's best for the children and families who are part of this club and part of the borough that you run. He is a person who works day in and day out to provide the best youth soccer program possible. And you will not find another person running a program in your community who is going to put the kids, the families, and the community as first priority. I feel there isn't one person sitting here, or one person in your Parks and Rec department, who have any clue of the magnitude of the knowledge and work that goes into getting the youth program started up and running, and making it successful. Since I really don't feel that there's another successful youth sports program being held in the borough currently. Acknowledge and take part in the many positives that have come out of the program, that has now grown to over 100 children. Families like myself who choose to stay here in South River when other options are available. Why do I choose to stay here with my 3 children? Because of the program. Because of the philosophy and morals that Tony uses to create a family-oriented soccer club for all to enjoy. So why would the borough look to impose additional fees on their community families that would make it financially harder for parents to continue their children's participation in the program? Why wouldn't the council and its employees be proud to promote a successful program based on positive morals instead of political ones? We are now hearing that Green Acres program is the blame for the institution of these fees. Mayor Krenzel, who of course is not here this evening, states that the ordinance was introduced to bring the borough's park fees into compliance with Green Acres regulations. I'm not sure if you've been on the Green Acres website, but the Veterans Park Athletic Field on Veterans Drive is not listed as one. That is basically the field that we use. And if you look under their recreation and open space inventory, it's not listed. The Green Acres partnership didn't just happen either. So how are the ordinances being changed just now? I reached out to Green Acres to get clarification and will follow up with my findings unless one of you are aware and have further information that you can share with us this evening. And another question is, why wasn't this brought up to us prior to tonight when we were questioning these fees to begin with? It's sad that it comes to this, that we're here this evening, that my kids are here this evening, that all these people are here this evening, fighting for a club to survive, a club that's been successful in your town since 2019. It's sad that at this point the borough hasn't partnered with the club. It's sad that if you have a person who's willing to help improve the community and the soccer program, but the borough time and time again makes it harder to do so. And it's even sadder that a council member feels it's necessary to state in a private phone call that these fees are going to pass no matter what we do, and that the club can't do anything about it. And it's unfortunate if the families can't afford the fees. This member knows exactly who I'm talking about, Mr. Oliveira. Is this how you see these kids? Is this how you see your community and families who voted you into office? I have one word: sad. There's so many other ways to go about raising money for the community instead of passing an ordinance that's going to cause these families to look for a more cost-effective situation elsewhere. Then the money won't be generated at all, will it? Because there won't be a club to generate the money for you. Then who misses out? I guess we all do, don't we? Partnering with the club and working on fair solutions would not only be smarter, but then would actually benefit everybody. Procedures, permits, anything else that the borough requires Tony to do in order to run the recreational and travel soccer program is followed and completed to a T. But yet we still have issues with your Parks and Rec department regardless. Lights not being turned on, no communication to the club, bathrooms not being available for children to use, cancellation of field usage, sometimes even before a drop of rain falls from the sky. And the worst, lights at Veterans Drive Athletic Field being turned off while there are children on the field. How is this acceptable? How can this happen? What if someone would have gotten hurt? Do we just get the same response we've gotten other times from borough employees? Oh, sorry, that's on us. Unacceptable and so dangerous. And these actions only hurt the families who are involved in the program. So much so that we now have to communicate through the borough attorney. It's obvious that either you have employed incompetent people or that there is malicious intent behind the actions of the department against our club. Because I really don't have any other explanation for it. Does any of this seem right to you? I hope that each and every one of you in your head right now are saying no. That there is some decency within you that says this isn't right. Taking the steps to pass these fees in ways that will affect our club is a misstep and shouldn't be done in the way that it's being proposed. Please stop making your internal shortfalls the responsibility of these families in your community. There hasn't been a youth sports program this great in a very long time. Tony and the club have so many things that can be offered to help make the town and the community better. If this ridiculousness could just be set aside and the borough and the club can actually work together for once. Because those are things that occur in other towns. I came across a quote that really hit home. One of the most important children that will ever be coached is the one who needs the program more than the program needs the child. This program matters. These kids matter. This program matters. Please don't make politics and money more important than the thriving and affordable program that you have in the South River Future Stars. Allow the program to move forward as is so that we can all be a part of a positive outcome for these kids instead of a negative one. Let's partner and make it worthwhile for everyone. Thank you.
On first call, second call,
Oh, hold on, there's one more. Yeah.
buddy.
Hi, Jack Ally, 198 Main Street. When I saw this ordinance, I read that nonprofit organizations are gonna have to pay a fee as well. And Pop Warner this year and historically has used Gailey's Pond quite a bit. We use the school properties as well, but Gailey's Pond is a place where we've practiced since Joe Theismann's days here in South River. And Pop Warner is a feeder program for South River Rams, the high school football program. So basically, I read it as saying that the town doesn't want us on Gailey's Pond anymore because we'll just have to go to the high school fields instead of paying that fee, which we want to raise our rates on our kids either. But then I heard somebody at Pop Warner told me that, well, we're not going to be affected because we're sponsored by the town. Now, I don't know what that means. Are you guys sponsoring Pop Warner going forward? Is that, I know Piscataway does that, where they sponsor the program and kids don't have to pay to do Pop Warner. Is that something you're considering? No. So we're going to have to pay our nonprofit organization fee for this as well, if we want to use Gailey's Pond. If you read the ordinance, any nonprofit organization that wants to use the fields unless they're sponsored by the borough. Now, Pop Warner is not sponsored by the borough. We're a private nonprofit organization. So, as far as Pop Warner goes, we're not happy with this ordinance as well. Thank you.
Anybody else from the public? First call, second call.
Tony
Name and
Dixera,
address, please.
37 Gillespie. So and I don't usually say this, but I'm the president of South River Future Stars. I think if you ask any of your kids, that'll be news that I, as coach. Started this program to make it affordable, to give them the best training that they could get at an affordable cost. And don't go to Saraville looking for kids, don't go to East Brunswick or Old Bridge or New Brunswick or anywhere. Don't really promote. But very proud of having kids from Old Bridge and Saraville and everywhere else. You know how hard it is to get a kid from Old Bridge that has all the facilities. they have everything. Sayreville, the same thing. For them to be here, it's special. And for the kids from town, like when I was growing up, I had to go play at Sayreville because there was no place for us to play in town. And we make it affordable. Like if you want me to open up the books, I can show you. We charge $350 to play. $350 to play the fall season, and if you want to take out your calculator, there is, let's just, Nathan's team, for example, there is 15 kids. So 15 times 350 is what? Anybody?
4.5.
Jason? No? Help me out. Got a calculator on your phone? 350 times 15? 5,200. Okay, 5,200. So the league costs $750. 5,200 minus. Okay, and the referee costs $120 a game. We got 5 home games, so 120 times 5 is 600. So minus 600. Each kid gets you guys all got a training shirt, right? Everybody got a training shirt. That was about, I make it myself, so $7, $8 a shirt. 8 times 15 is, anybody? I'm not. 120 minus 120. Okay. Now they had a trainer. We hire professional trainers. The trainer gets paid. They train twice a week. $85 each time the trainer comes out. So 85 twice a week is 170. 170 times 10. Go ahead.
1,000.
Okay. And now the trainer also got paid for game day. That's another $850. Now we're in the red, right? We're getting close to the red.
Got 1180 left.
11.8. Okay. So that's not including, because we never, you at the last meeting, I believe you said we were, is Age here? Age. Did we ever, I've never, I don't believe the club has ever asked to paint the field. Have we ever asked you to paint the field for us? Have I?
That's we paid.
Veterans you paint, yes, absolutely. I'm not saying veterans, Bargain.
You chose to paint,
I'm painting Bargain.
yes, you chose.
I'm choosing to paint Bargain. Okay, did I ever give you a receipt and say, Age, I need this money for his paint?
No.
Age is, like the township is, I don't know, you guys are lucky to have him. He's the best, he's one of the best people that, he cares. He is, do I agree with him all the time? No. But he'll come out, perfect example. I wanted to have night game for the kids, for them to experience night game. And Age came out, he's like, what do you want to do? And we looked at veterans together, right? We walked the field and he said, what do you want to do? I said, this is what I'm trying to do. He said, go ahead, do it. That's reasonable. He's reasonable. He's honest. He's transparent. Me and Age never had no issues. I said, Age, could you move, at Margaret, Age, could you move this bleacher from here to there? Boom, he did it, right? He's helped out. Like, Age has been nothing but helpful. And like the club, yes, what Telly was saying was right. We do cut the grass. But it's because, just like other clubs, like they cut the grass once a week, every single park, whatever park it is. And then if it's in the summer, the grass is going to be high. Now, who's going to suffer? If they're going to suffer. So I don't mind cutting it. Like I don't mind going there. Like I'm not asking you guys for money, just like he said. Like I never handed in a receipt. I'm not putting it on Facebook. I'm not going out there like, hey, look at, like we're just doing it so they can play. So they can play. And like you guys are gonna say, oh, these fees are for everybody. And you're right, like the fees are gonna go up for everybody. So like let's say this outside, and there should be no outside organization because South River is a small borough. So when there's let's say like, let's use East Brunswick as an example. If East Brunswick's coming to South River, that should be a red flag right away. Like why are they coming to our township? You guys have Heavenly Farms, you guys have the high school, you guys have the middle school, you guys have this school, like why are you guys coming here? Same thing with Sayreville. Sayreville has Borough Hall, they have the high school, they have Borough Park, they have plenty of facilities. So when I get a phone call on September 10th of 2020, right? Remember that? Remember when you called me? Yes? And you remember, do you remember what you asked me? do I know of Christina and Jason Davis of SSC? And what I tell you,
So they were bad news.
bad news, right? And what I put you in contact with? MOSA, New Jersey Youth Soccer, Cerebral Athletic, not the actual parents. I didn't say, hey Jackie, come talk to, I put them in contact with officials, just like yourselves. Just like every single one of you is here, officials. And they all sing the same tune. And I got the newspaper article that you guys knew everything not Cerebral would have rented them, Old Bridge would have rented them, nobody would rent to them. But, and you said it was, nice to meet you, Andrea. She's awesome too. You guys are very, very, like our parks department's been so incompetent that I've had to work with in the spring. Art was very, very helpful as well. Art was transparent. We had another club that wanted to use the dates and we worked together, right? We were transparent and Art worked with me and he said, hey, this date is this, and we worked together, right, Art? Yes? And then in the fall, our parks department is so incompetent that we have to have Andrea. And Andrea, you've been awesome. Like you're like, hey, this club needs this date. No problem, Andrea, right? Say right or wrong. Like we need this Wednesday or this Thursday, whatever it was. And I was like, okay, can we get it? Blah blah blah. And still we've had difficulties. Like and I've emailed every single one of you. And you guys all put your head in the sand. You guys all put your head in the sand just hoping it goes away. And now you're implementing these fees on the families. Like, yeah, I'll be fine. This club could go away, and honestly, it'd be easier for me to go pick up 2-3 teams and train with less responsibility, less liability, less headaches, and more money, ultimately. But it's not about the money. I'm doing this for our community. Believe it or not, it's for the kids. It's to give them a place to be and to play at a reasonable cost. Because if you go check what other clubs that are the same as us are charging, and there's some parents here from other clubs that can tell you that it's not apples to apples. They're charging way more, and we're giving them I've never went to any of these parents and said, hey, I know I said it was this price, but can I get another 100? I'm like, no. And we don't go on. I don't go on Facebook. How many of you guys made honor roll last year? Which one of you guys made honor roll? Anybody? Anybody? Raise your hand, please. If you made honor roll. What happened when you got honor roll? Tell them.
We got $50.
Yeah, I gave everybody $50 cash. And if you do good, you don't have to go on Facebook and put it like, hey, look at us. We're giving out. We're trying. These kids aren't going to be professional soccer players, but they're going to be good human beings. When you see them wearing a South River Future Stars, you're going to be proud of them. You know they're not going to be the little you-know-whats. That, you know what, if they show up late, they know what happens. Ask anyone. Chris, it's so easy. It's so easy when your kid is awesome and you're a great parent, and it's like, man, like you're doing awesome. Like you're doing awesome as a parent. You know how hard it is to be like, your kid needs to work harder. And it's hard to tell parents, you need to do a better job. Like this is not what we expected when you were voted in. This is the first chance you get to change anything you want. Like you got your shot. You got the hammer in your hand, and you're not a recycled politician. This is your first chance, and you were so happy and thrilled that this is finally on the agenda because the Parks Department has recommended it for the last 2017, 18. Are you speaking of yourself in the third term when you're saying that? Because you were on the Parks Department that said that. So was there other people that referred to?
Yeah, so in 2017, I wasn't even on the Rec Advisory Board. It wasn't the Parks Department, it was the Rec Advisory Board, which consists of residents that came up with this policy. So if I recall,
were you referring to yourself as a third person? That's all I'm asking.
No, this was
that wasn't your recommendation.
No, this.
So that wasn't. So it's on the minutes somewhere along the line. It's somewhere. Somebody said that.
2017.
So who said this?
October 3rd, 2017.
But who was the person that said it?
The Parks and Rec Department had a meeting with DPW.
And who was on the Parks? Were you on that Parks Department?
I was not.
You had nothing to do with that.
I was there as a guest complaining.
You were there. You were present.
I was.
Okay. I don't know why. Like me and Jason both helped out. Fernando runs the men's team down. Fernando, I think Jason ran on being the VP of the Gardens. That was news to me. Like, I was the coach there I was the trainer and the assistant coach to Fernando for 3 years, I think, and when I seen it on the billboard, it was the first, like, vice president of the Garden, like, I had to go look at the website to find out, was it South River FC, or was it the Garden State Soccer League?
Yeah, so I
So-
sit on the board as a vice president of the Garden State Soccer.
Of South River
Garden
FC?
State Soccer League for the entire state of New Jersey.
So you're part of the board?
I run the over 40 division, and I sit on the board, yes.
Okay.
You have 2 minutes.
Like, thank you. You guys are gonna decide what you want. You guys got the hammer. Do what you like. Ultimately, these are kids that are getting hurt. I'm sorry we didn't go on Facebook and promote all the great things that we did. Every single mother in here has gotten a flower on Mother's Day. Every kid's getting a, there's no like, this kid gets that, they all get the same. That's what you get here. Now, if you wanna put in, somebody with other interests, where they have other things, then things are gonna get, but every single kid you can look at, they've all gotten the same opportunity. They've all gotten, it doesn't matter if your kid plays goalie, you could ask every single one of these parents. I've been nothing but transparent, honest, and just giving them a place to ultimately play. And I think the problem belongs in your parks department, where you guys have been putting your head in the stand, where the lights have been turned off, and it's like I'm not trying to, like, I don't, you know how dangerous it is when the lights are turned off and there's a child there that we're in the dark. You're in the dark on the field and you're trying to get children off the field, and then you text them. Not one time have we put in a permit that said 8:30, and for the lights to turn off at 8:29 or 8 whatever it was, and for me to email it in, and for the Parks Department to say, oh, the lights will be on in 5 minutes, and it's just like there's ways we can help out. Look at all the people here. We want to help. You guys have programs within that you're looking for volunteers within the community. What's the program down at Causeway where you guys need
Community garden.
the community garden where you guys need volunteers? Like you guys can use us as an asset. We're not a threat. Every single one of the coaches that you see around me, they all have background checks. We go through a background check every single season to make sure they're able to be around children, to make sure that we're not doing anything that we're not supposed to be doing. So you can have whatever perception you want to have. We do everything by the book. We've done everything by the book, and that's why you're trying to change you're changing the lines on us, because we started at 27 kids and we've grown it up to 120 something, doing the right thing, day in, day out, being consistent, being reliable, being dependent, being hardworking, being transparent, treating people the way you want to be treated, not doing stuff behind closed doors, and being thrilled and so excited that this is finally, like, what is it, like, thrilled and excited about what? Like ultimately what? Like, I don't get it.
This ordinance isn't about your club.
Yes, it is. Ultimately, it is. You can say that. You can say that, sir. You can say that. But okay, so Saraville's coming in, and under the old ordinance, let's say it was $50. It was $50 to rent it for 3 hours, and $25 to use it for lights. So 50 plus 25 plus 25 plus 20 is $125. So Saraville would have to use it for $125. Okay. So now under the new ordinance, you guys want to put it where it's $75 for 2 hours, right? $75 for 2 hours. That's what it says.
For non-residents, it's $100.
Saraville's non-residents, right? Saraville, if the club comes in from Saraville, they're non-residents, correct?
Correct.
So 75 plus 25 plus 25.
It's 100.
100. So 100 plus another. So they go from paying $125 to paying $150. So you guys are getting an extra $250 out of them if they rent for 10 weeks for one time. I'm going to be done in 1 second. Now our club is going from playing by your rules, we're meeting the threshold, and doing like age, please, man. Like age has been nothing but great, and he knows. Like if anybody can tell you, like we've never asked for anything. Like we're very, very humbled. But if it wasn't for that guy right there, like this club wouldn't be here. Like he's been very, very helpful. But we've never said, hey, Age, could you please go paint this field for us? Or do you guys have some extra paint for us? Or could you go cut this grass? We're humble. We even got a trailer and a container that you guys all signed off on, a container that God knows how much you paid Andrea to write the contract up for, but and it's to help to facilitate. It's not to go like we don't need to go on Facebook. Like if you do good, all you have to do is good. You don't have to be about it. And you guys got the hammer, but you're hurting the kids. Like ultimately, you're hurting the kids. Like that's what it comes down to. And that's it. Like I'm sorry and thank you for your time and I appreciate it.
Second call, third and final call.
I know what's going on.
I don't think I need this. I think I'm pretty proud. Is that okay for everyone? Yeah. Don't worry, you're not gonna write kids. So I just want to say I wasn't
Name and
planning.
address, please.
Name's Ayaan Rahman. I actually live in East Brunswick, and 10 years ago I had the opportunity to go try to play for South River Soccer Club. You know what a whole bunch of kids my age wound up doing? We wound up going back to East Brunswick. Not because we wanted to play for East Brunswick, but because the community here never really cared about these kids. Not a single one of the town members, not a single one of the people who were on this council that day, they didn't know a single one of these children's names. They didn't care about they all they cared about was the money. You know what's funny? When he was doing the math right now, the only person that remembered like the final number was when it was about the bottom line. And that's always what it's been about for you guys, the council people. The bottom line, because you want the profit, right? Look at these kids right behind you. I got to coach them for the past like 2 years now. 2 years. And what I've seen with them is growth. Not just as players, but as young men. You don't teach those kind of things. You can't teach that in school. You can't teach a kid to be able to go out there and show respect to other players, to other families. You can't go out there and teach them how to love, how to be able to teach one another brotherhood. They didn't have to be here tonight. I know he wants to play PS5. I know he wants to be playing on his Xbox One. I know that's what they want to be doing. But they're here, not because they want to be in front of you, because they care about Coach Tony and the family that we built up. I'm just a trainer. That's all I am, right? And I love each and every one of these kids. That's why I'm here. Not for you guys and not to tell you that, hey, look, this is how you run a township. I know how to do that. But I do know what it means to have a community behind you and to have people that support a vision. We're here because of one man only, Coach Tony. We're here because he did what many people here who are sitting on that little stage right there have not done. And that's take care of these kids, give them a program to build for years to come. You want to talk about math, some of the things that Coach Tony didn't talk about? There's families in this room who are unable to even meet the basic requirements for payment to be able to play. Coach Tony helps them out of his own pocket. Now that's not somebody who's trying to look for a bottom line profit. That's a man that cares about these kids like his own kids, like his own family. And that's why everybody here, the hundreds of people that I've gathered, are here for Coach Tony. So if you guys have anything against him, I ask you to take a look at everybody here. We're all part of his family. So if you go against him, you go against us, and you go against our family that we've been working to build for the past 4 years. I ask you to just remember that when you try to raise the prices for lights, try to raise the prices for field usage, that it's just hurting them. And just like I did 10 years ago, these kids will walk away to another soccer program. Coach Tony said that they're not trying to have them become professional soccer players. I hope in 10 years, South River has professional soccer players. Kids who go play D1 from here. Kids who go to D3 schools on full rides. But we don't have that because we've never invested into our kids. Start today. Just trust Coach Tony. Let him continue to do what he does. Trust the programs. The guy who was talking about the Pop Warner Field, he's a non-profit organization. Why is he paying? I ran a 501c3 for 4 years, and I never had to pay a single fee when I was doing it through East Brunswick. And the fact that somebody who's running a football team has to do that, just to be able to play and help these kids have somewhere to use their talents, to learn about brotherhood, to learn about community, that's sickening. Let these families enjoy their time, let them build up to become great young men, and let them have a future let them be future stars. That's it.
Anybody else? First call?
There's plenty. Well, not quite as loud as that guy. So my name is Amy, I live in Old Bridge. So my son played his first season of rec for Coach Tony this year. He asked me to coach the team, so I became a volunteer coach. My son made friends on the field for the 10 weeks that he played. He enjoyed playing soccer. He's been waiting for years to play for Coach Tony. Without Coach Tony running the South River program, I don't know where South River soccer program will be. It probably wouldn't exist, or it's too expensive for all the kids to play. I understand the town needs money to function. It shouldn't come from the kids and the kids' families. A lot of families are barely scraping by. It's a bad time of year right now, with Christmas, holidays coming up, and then COVID for almost the last 2 years. There's so many families that can't afford what they need for their kids on a day-to-day basis, never mind paying for the extras. Soccer is an extra, but they need activities to do, safe activities that are around other kids so they can socialize. It's a safe environment and they're learning something. And they're getting exercise, it's healthy for them. This money should never come from these families. They pay their taxes, they live here. They should own the town. And that's all I have to say.
Anybody else on the first call?
Hi, my name is Saeed Hussein. I live on 16 Veterans Drive. There's been a lot that's been said so far. One thing that I want to share is a personal story. So we moved here from Woodbridge about 3 years ago, specifically to South River. And we were deciding between moving into either East Brunswick, which is literally 1 street over, Old Bridge, which is, again, 2 streets over, or South River. Now, if we went to East Brunswick, our kids get to go to a blue ribbon school, okay? Blue ribbon school district. If we went into South River, well, not blue ribbon, okay? Now, as you can tell, I'm Indian. And as Indians, the stereotypical education, the focus on education, blue ribbon matters to us quite a bit. But we decided to remain in South River because we had some friends. The previous owners who bought 16 Veterans Drive, so you guys probably know Troney Clifton. Troney used to be a part of this community quite well, and he's the one who we bought the house from. He convinced us this is a great district to be in. It's fantastic for you and your children. We said, okay. Got the house, got in. My son, Aslan, he was never into soccer. I was never into soccer. As you know, children tend to look at their parents as their heroes. If I'm into basketball, I love basketball, I played basketball, I'm doing martial arts, I loved it. They got into it because Coach Ayan, who's still working for our company, right? He was into soccer, he started to get him into soccer. Through that, in Veterans Drive, we have the field. Started getting exposure there. That's where we met the kids that were starting to play over there. He started to get into soccer. Once he started getting into soccer and he met Coach Tony, and he met Coach and then Coach Ayan and Coach Christian, everything that these guys have been doing, that kid's perspectives have changed completely. And I'm not talking about just on the field. What I'm talking about is off the field. Now, one thing that I heard earlier, I was outside, so please forgive me if I misheard it. But what I got was that this was being turned into something along the lines of, well, this is a private organization, and the city can't really vouch for or back a private organization versus going through it with the city. I'm sorry. Private organizations are the reason why this nation has become what this nation has become. It's not the role. Government cannot be as efficient as private individuals will. If you want us to volunteer, there's no way that as a government institution you could have gotten all of us to gather here. This is passion. That passion comes from the passion of the leadership of this so-called private organization. And that leadership comes directly from Coach Tony. We're all here in support of Coach Tony because of everything that he's putting in. And I can tell you one thing, again, personally, Coach Tony has gone above and beyond again and again and again to ensure that the families can more, so that he can make more than make up for what the families are lacking in terms of financial support. This guy is taking money out of his pocket, whether it's coming up with plans and programs to ensure that the kids can get what they want. So that his focus, I have never seen anyone so dedicated. And again, just so that you guys know a little bit about my background, I am an entrepreneur, and I come from the world of Wall Street, 24/7 pretty much. I'm constantly on the phone. I'm constantly working, meetings. These kids don't, my son, he lacks the attention that he needs from his own father. I can't provide that to him, but you know who can? These coaches. And these coaches, while I'm out there trying to make money, these coaches are doing it for just about nothing. So I know it was mentioned that, okay, well, it's a private organization, yes, but it's a private, like Ayan said, it's a private, not-for-profit organization, and I've never seen any kind of a non-profit organizations are asking for money, not giving it up from their own pockets, which is what this organization is doing. So, and in terms of coming up with, I understand there's financial burdens. I understand that there's budgeting constraints that are there. But at the end of the day, who is it that you guys are working for? Us, the residents. Us. We are the guys that you look after. So come to us. We can, if it's funding that's required, let's start up a funding drive. We're more than happy to contribute to that. If you need sponsorships, tell us. My company will sponsor this place. I will go out there, I will get other guys to sponsor us. If we're talking about in terms of leadership, you guys are on the other side of the table. A piece of advice that I would give you is think like leaders. Think about leaders, don't think about today. Leaders think about tomorrow, about building the future. And what you want to do is build a future of superstars. And those superstars exist in these tiny little kids that are all sitting here. These are your future stars.
Yes, they are.
That's what this team is looking to put together. That's the difference. That's the difference between a private organization doing it versus a public organization that's going to do it. You as leaders need to be thinking about us as the residents. Not even me. I don't matter. I'm not going to be around tomorrow. But you know who will? These little kids. And like I said, there's more that they're getting. There's more that they're getting out of this club off the field than they are on the field. But those lessons that they're going to apply off the field are being learned today on the field. And they're not going to learn anything if the lights are off.
Thank you. Is there anybody else?
Hello everyone, Sarah Santos, Ham Avenue, South River. Just want to let everybody know I've been a long-term resident, born and raised. Started my family here, continue to live in South River. I pray that I don't leave. I love my little community. Everybody's so open and honest and transparent with everybody that I've dealt with. With that said, my children need a field to practice their soccer on. My coach Tony is currently providing that at a very reasonable cost. Which brings to my attention the fact that my kids are having fun, they're playing with their friends, and they're learning skill set. With the township having parks that are pretty much not being used ever, and when a township, when an organization like this comes up and they start bringing the town alive, the community alive with the kids playing and mingling, and now parents are socializing, and it's a beautiful thing. Does everybody remember COVID where we were all closed up and nobody was able to leave the house? We have all these parks that we can use. And I pay taxes for these parks, I pay taxes for improvements. And I believe Coach Tony did that with his team. I believe Coach Tony, South River Future Stars, improved the community of South River with the organization that he brought. And I believe the township should recognize that. And I believe the township should offer sponsorship to Tony and South River Future Stars, because if you don't, you're losing a valuable tool to our children, and you're losing a valuable South River long-term resident himself. Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else on first call, second call, third and final call?
Motion to close.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. We have any discussion?
I have some questions. When I reached out to a few council members on here regarding this, I was told that there's been a cost analysis of $19,000 a year to maintain the fields. Where did we get that number?
We never said maintain.
Yeah,
No,
to
absolutely not. I said that it would have, if he was just like everybody else, if he was a person that was actually paying into the system, it would be actually $16,132.50. 3 seasons worth.
Okay, so you're saying that that's not what it actually costs, but that's what you want out of this?
No. This is printed. This is what the average person that comes into South River and literally wants to rent their field
Out of South
out of South River.
Okay. So, number one, so the costs that we have here, do any of you find our fields adequate enough to be charging such costs? Daly's Pond has night lights, and they're used for football because the field is so bad for the kids to play. This recreation team, which I know a lot of people are on and are a part of, they play on a baseball field because our soccer fields aren't adequate enough for a recreational team. How are we supposed to be charging our residents, the people who pay the taxes, to have a program in town? I don't, like, why? So, I'm sorry, Mr. Olivera, you say it's not just because of this organization, so what else is it for? Who else uses the field lights? Who else?
You have ABL that comes in, uses Grokowski.
Out of town?
Yeah,
So they already pay?
everyone pays
Okay.
regardless.
Okay.
You have FC Europa that uses veterans. Cerebral Soccer Club used veterans a couple of times. That's really it.
Out of town?
Yes.
Okay. So, I understand if you wanna raise the rates for out of town organizations, why would you do it for our residents?
Taxpayers.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 They're already paid.
I don't get
Already
where,
paid for it.
where
Zero to
0
$10,000
to
real
75 or 0 to.
It's not zero though.
What do you mean it's not 0?
It's not zero. The issue that the Rec Advisory Board found, there was a fictitious 90% rule that is not written anywhere. It doesn't exist. So your roster, Mr. Teixeira's roster, South River FC's roster, South River Sharks, use a 90% rule that is not written in any ordinance.
So why didn't you just add that to the ordinance instead of raising the fee?
Exactly.
This was not,
Yeah.
because that's not the norm. If you look
And has
right
the
now,
South River norm.
so I know it was said that East Brunswick doesn't charge for nonprofits. East Brunswick also does charge for nonprofits. So they charge a resident/nonprofit price, and then they charge a non-resident price. Cerebral Athletic Association, their athletic association is running their town rec department. So they do not really have a rec department that sits there and does everything.
Are you gonna compare their facilities?
You can't.
Yeah.
You
So,
can't.
South Greenfield Soccer Club, for instance, they have a soccer club, then they also have a rec club that they have. The soccer club has a lease agreement with the town where they were donated a piece of property and they were given, they were responsible for maintaining and upkeeping the field, but that became their property. East Brunswick Soccer Club, and this is something that I would like to bring to the Rec Advisory Board. Are you familiar with East Brunswick's policies?
No.
So East Brunswick does not have a rec program what they do is they recognize organizations, and they only recognize one organization in each sport. So for instance, East Brunswick Soccer Club is the only organization that is allowed to do soccer, and the Township of East Brunswick works with the club in order to recommend. But in order for this to happen, we have to have the rec advisory board meet. We have seats open. I would love for Mr. Teixeira to be on them because there are changes that need to happen.
Okay, I went through the minutes of 2017, 2018, and 2019, correct? You were not on the Parks and Rec Advisory Board at the time, but you were the person that recommended to start charging for the fields because of overuse.
Yeah, that actually was brought up by Mr. Suarez. In
Well-
2017,
In the minutes, it states that you state the overcrowding of fields and the way we have our policy and usage of the fields.
in 2018.
In 2017, before you were on the rec board, I had the minutes.
Sure, which day?
I'll show you what. How can we sit here and want to charge for fields that we don't have ready for anybody to do?
How do you expect fields to be better?
Well, I
Use our tax money, use the tax money for
Take it easy. Excuse me, take it easy.
on those meeting minutes, various times, the Parks and Rec says that they're getting quotes to fix fields, which fields need to be fixed, pricing, and nothing was ever accomplished.
That's
How do you
false.
get bids?
They age replaced sod at Veterans. The entire goal mouth was replaced in 2018.
What about Daly's Pond?
Daly's Pond, technically, I don't know if you remember this, but Daly's Pond was donated to the South River Portuguese Club.
It is still part of South, it's not technically donated to the Portuguese Club. They named it for the Portuguese Club, it's the Baixo da Gama soccer field, but it's still Daly's Pond Park.
And South River Portuguese Club was supposed to maintain and upkeep the field.
Okay, so if they're supposed to upkeep and maintain the fields, and they're a nonprofit organization, we're not gonna charge them to use the fields?
They don't use the field.
So, of course they don't, because they don't have a successful organization that's running right now. They have a program that we do have here. I think- I'm sorry?
Why don't they use daily?
Because it's awful, if you want kids to sprain their ankles when they play soccer. You know who uses the fields? The football players with their big cleats, so that they don't,
I actually had this conversation with Mr. Teixeira earlier today.
okay?
Can we call the conversation?
I think we're having our discussion here.
Well, I'm not over yet. Did you remember the conversation we had this morning?
I think
Daly's
we're,
Pond?
point of order, Council President,
So
I think
here's
we're now at our
the
discussion.
problem.
He's trying to answer your
Here's the
question.
problem.
No, he's trying to have a conversation.
No, I don't know.
We're supposed to be voting on something right
we're
now, so
gonna be
we're having a
voting.
discussion.
We're definitely gonna be voting on it. So here's what my problem is, right? We talk about how the fields are in disrepair. We talk about how outside people use it, they get charged. The inside people don't use it. The South River residents use it and they don't have to pay for it. So it's almost like this. And I had this conversation with a president of a banquet hall not too long ago. And this one individual actually called me and she was concerned. She was concerned about everybody here. She said, how can you do this to Tony and his group? And I said, I have a question for you off the top. Can I use the hall? She said, yes, absolutely, Peter. You could use the hall. But can you at least pay into it? I said, pay what? She goes, can you pay for the cleaning, the electricity, of the property? I'm not done. So my question to you, so hold on, my question to you is, how can you tell me, a taxpayer would sit there and actually say that it's okay for a private entity to actually use a borough
Because
property?
residents pay their taxes.
I
And they
agree.
expect their
Totally agree.
fields to be usable and be able to use them. And
You're
not have to be
absolutely right.
charged again to use them.
Get charged again by a private entity.
No,
See,
no.
Mr.
Charged
Teixeira-
by
Football matters in this town, not soccer.
All
Only football matters in this town, not soccer.
right, that's fine.
That's
So my question to you is, how do I go to a, let's say, nonprofit and say, you can use our property and it's okay? Matter of fact, better yet, forget Mr. Teixeira. Let me open the door to anybody else to use the property. Is that okay?
Yes.
To use what property? The parks?
The
Yeah.
parks, yeah.
Let's
So
talk
you're
about
saying
it.
yes.
The community
You guys
garden.
did, you guys, excuse me.
Community garden,
No,
the
no,
one-
Hold on.
Please asking him questions.
Can I step up?
No,
Can I?
no.
No, no.
No, it's not.
You're saying I could open up the fields, anybody else here?
No, again, I'm not saying, I'm saying, okay, you wanna talk about, nonprofit organizations. We gave, the community garden a spot, we charge them $1 for every year that they use the community garden, for nonprofit organization.
Right.
Why? Because the residents are the ones that are using that garden. The residents are the ones that are filling our parks and maintaining things. This guy just finished saying he's the one who lines and mows the lawn for our community to use it. And we wanna start, adding an extra $19,000 to the bill for our residents? I don't know where you guys find this okay. Especially when half of our fields aren't usable to be able to charge like that. We can't compare ourselves to East Brunswick, to Saraville, to Old Bridge. Those are large communities with a lot more people and a lot more tax money. Why are we upcharging like this? The electric is ours. We're gonna charge for that because our residents wanna use it? We don't charge South River Soccer, the school when they go down to Veterans to use it because it's our community. Why are we doing this for our residents now? I'm sorry. The price is outrageous. And you're looking at a community that we're gonna shut down, an organization because we wanna make money. Where's the deficit in Parks and Rec that you wanna make money off of our town? I thought when you told me you had a cost analysis, it was because we were losing money throughout the year to have an organization like that. Now you're saying, no, that's how much we would make if we charged them?
Yeah, that's how much it would actually go
Okay,
to
so
the
where does that
residents.
make sense? You wanna charge our residents.
That is money going right back into the fields.
When you run Tony out of town and all these people that elected you guys, I don't care if you kick me out, but I have to say this. When you run Tony's program out of town and all these residents that elected you guys, what are you gonna say to your kids when there's no soccer program?
So please stop that.
What would you?
What do you tell these kids when there's no soccer program because you ran him out of town? He's not making money,
Should we?
he is in the red. So,
Should we raise the taxes?
You already did it.
You do.
You did.
$100.
Hold on. Relax.
Relax.
$1,000 a
You do
year in
it
6
anyway.
years. $1,000 a year in 6 years since I moved here. $1,000, bro! I don't even gonna raise that much.
$5,000 in the last 12.
yeah, but how much do you
Beautiful
make?
house. What do you want me to tell you? The streets that I live on have been potholes since I moved here.
What I'm saying is, we're trying to do the best we can with the taxes that we are accumulating. But the problem being is, yes, I understand the soccer club, I understand it's great for the kids. The thing is, it's not only you guys that are absorbing the extra electric, it's the rest of the residents too. The rest of the town is also absorbing the excess in electric. Now,
Our electric.
It's part of living in the town.
It's
but
our electric.
we're still having to buy it, and we're still paying.
but they still pay school taxes.
I understand, but we're still paying taxes.
It's Peter's pace.
Okay, so, I mean, maybe we should start thinking about taking this soccer club and absorbing it into a borough.
Council president.
Excuse me, I'm talking right now.
Absolutely, point of order, we're supposed to be discussing, not having a.
No, I'm talking to this gentleman here, I'm trying to explain to him. So
Correct, but
maybe
this
we
is
should
the time
take
that we're
something
supposed to be discussing
and
our
do
work.
it, and bring it in as an umbrella, as a borough,
Funded.
And let Tony run it.
as a borough club.
Point of order.
You know, something like that, maybe, something.
Who's gonna run it?
We should think about it a little bit.
Who's gonna run it? Who do you want to run it?
No, same as what we're doing here.
So that he can run it or so that he can run it?
Sure, can still run it, but it'll be absorbed under a borough, and
So you guys you guys will foot the cost for the kids, right?
Point
Is that how that works?
it would be just like you're doing as in any other,
My taxes are gonna go down after all that money that he's gonna
Go ahead, Julie.
No, Point of order, we're supposed to be having a
Well, I was
discussion about
talking.
this, or, no, we're having a conversation, we're supposed to be discussing the
What would you like to
ordinance
talk about?
right now about raising the electric and the field use costs right
What would you
now.
like to talk about?
We're having a future conversation about something that
Okay.
you might,
Your point of order
that's
is
the problem with this, agenda here. We like to talk about the things that we're gonna do, but right now, you guys wanna raise the cost, correct? That's what we're
So we're
discussing.
trying to figure this all out. So
And
we're
I'm asking you a point of order, it's a discussion that we members are supposed to be discussing to cast the vote, correct?
Do you have anything else to say?
Andrew, explain the Green Acres concept of the Rossi, property.
So, the borough did accept Green Acres money for funding for one of its parks.
For what?
The balance of your parks are on the Rossi list. Pursuant to Green Acres regulations, you cannot charge non-residents more than twice you charge residents. So to bring your borough ordinance into compliance with Green Acres regulations, there has to be some type of change.
That's why.
For what
I
part?
know, I have a question.
All of your parks. There's only 3 that are not on your Rossi list.
Is the Veterans Drive Athletic Field on that list? Because I did not see it.
Yes,
It's not.
there
There's a
are-
Veterans Park, but not Veterans Athletic Field on Veterans Drive.
That is that not the same
So,
park?
no,
No.
so Veterans Park is what now is Volunteers Park. Am I correct?
I do
Yes.
not know which one.
Volunteers Park a while ago used to be, if you look at Google Veterans Park, Volunteers Park shows up. Veterans Field was given
No sign for Green Acres.
when the development happened, correct? So I don't think that's part of Green Acres.
If it's on your Rossi list, and even if it's not, technically, even if it's not on your Rossi list, you have an obligation to update the state as to all of your open space inventory. And if you have not updated the state as your open space inventory, they technically try to merge that anyway. So the borough has an obligation to update it. So if it's not if it's not on there, we would have an obligation to notify the state that it should be on there because it's part of our open space.
So the wording could have technically been changed that we would absorb the cost if we had a recreational with the 90%, like you were saying, Mr.
Yeah, but you can't
Okay.
charge resident, you can't charge non-residents.
For borough sponsored or absorb borough.
The fees, and that was told by Andrea, 0, 2 times of 0 is 0. So in order to charge non-residents a fee, the residents have to.
So what are we charging the non-residents right now? $50. So why are we,
No, everyone's charged $50,
correct,
residents and non-residents.
okay. So if we have to charge double to non-residents, why didn't this ordinance say $25 instead of 75? Why are we raising the rates that much?
Yeah.
Correct.
Because that was in conjunction with DPW to see what they would need in terms of.
What? They do it right now. What else would they need? The electric is ours and they do it right now. What else would they need? I'm sorry, the amount that's there is crazy.
Yeah.
How do you go from 0 to 75?
You're not going to.
Correct. You're right on that. We're not going from 0 to 75, but you technically are because you haven't charged them. And you're only raising the non-residents $25 from what they originally were paying, or $50.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
So what are you gonna make? And like, where's the problem? What revenue do you guys need from our residents that we don't have right now? Where's the deficit?
What strain is
The upkeep is being done regardless. Correct? Our grass is still needs to be cut. Everything's still done with the same way. Where do you want the revenue to go?
Okay.
I'm having a conversation.
That's right, no, I'm sorry.
I'm just theatrical right now.
Okay, just, we're getting through everything here, so we just had a couple discussions back and forth. Julie,
There are so many unknowns, and I agree.
would you be okay with redoing this and carrying over for first reading till January?
Redo for what?
No,
No.
wait, go ahead.
Before you get,
I'm asking a question.
let's
For what?
discuss it, let's change it, make the changes that are necessary. We'll put it back on for first reading in January 10th.
It's fine.
And this way we can update it, we can talk, we can have a few more meetings to discuss everything and come up with a solution that would be better for everybody and the borough. This way, the electric rates could be some quasi covered. We could do, the kids can still be able to afford to join the club and work with it and go forward and just keep building. I'm a big advocate for young kids. I mean, they're important, very important. So, I mean, can we do something like that?
Yes, procedurally, you could decide what you wanna do. You could either, not vote, you could not call a vote, there could be no motion for a vote and no second. Or you could vote and vote no, either way, we can put it back on for first reading in
So we
January.
can restructure all of this,
Yeah.
go through everything and then get it back for first reading in January.
It has to be January, it can't be the last
Right, it couldn't
week
be,
of December.
yeah, it would have to be because of all the changes.
Yes, yes.
So is everybody in agreement with that? Julie,
So we'll make a vote on it today.
make a vote on it? Well,
We would vote this down.
we vote it down,
Right.
right, and let it die. You actually don't even have to vote on it.
No, you don't have to.
There's no motion on
If
it,
there's
just let
no
it die.
motion for a vote and there's no second for a vote, you don't have to take a vote and it just dies. Or you could make a motion for a vote and somebody seconds it and then everybody votes down. Either way, it accomplishes
I
the
think
same.
just let it die.
Or we just table it.
I'm
No,
sorry.
no, you can't table it, it's gotta go back on for first reading. So if everything has to be changed, there will be changes on it, and then we put it out there for first reading. You can't table it.
You would have to re-advertise it anyway.
Right,
And if there were changes, if there were substantial, it would be first reading.
we have to, so we have to go back on for first reading. So is everybody in agreement with that, Julie? You
I
okay with that?
just would like to put on record that I hope everybody sits down and reevaluates the pricing that you'd like to be.
Well, that's what I'm saying, let's discuss all of this and go forward with it to make sure it's beneficial for the league, it's beneficial for the borough, and we can come to some type of agreement where everybody would be benefited.
Can I ask you a question?
No, we can't. Yeah,
No,
we're,
but there will be time,
Yeah,
later in the meeting,
at the end.
and you can speak about whatever
Okay.
your pleasure is.
so,
Do you know when the rec advisory board is meeting next for Mr. Secure to meet
Have
with them?
not met.
We have not, first Tuesday of the month.
Is there a way you can get them together with
yes,
representatives from this?
Well, no, actually, they're an advisory board. They don't make the rules, so he would actually have to sit down, with one of us and the
okay.
an advisory board, remember the advisory.
They're advised, right?
No,
Okay, so it's tomorrow. So at that point there, people should reach out to Mr. Sarah and come up with a meeting and get together and then speak with Andrea. Are we okay with?
I've been trying to meet you guys since May.
Months.
It's now gonna be down.
Andrea, right? Since May, I think is when you stepped in.
Okay, so let's take it from there,
Yes.
okay? So then,
Now they want to.
any other discussion? Julie? Jimmy? Okay, Jason? Good? Pete? Don? Okay, so at this point here, somebody's gonna make a motion. Motion to adopt?
You don't.
No motion, there's a
You
motion,
can call for a motion,
call for
and no one
motion,
makes a motion, then
there's no second, there's no second, therefore the ordinance dies.
So Jimmy just motioned.
Yeah, Jimmy motioned it, there's no second, so the ordinance dies.
Okay.
So, just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, this ordinance is now dead, it's off the books. Councilman Gindi will meet with Mr. Texera, and they will come back with a report to the council on an agreement, what we do with fees. We'll talk to our CFO to make sure everything's in compliant with our attorney, and make sure everybody's in agreement, and it'll be, like I said, everybody will be agreeable on this. And then it'll be out there,
We'll be here.
he'll be your spokesman, he'll know exactly what's going on, and he can keep everybody informed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to ordinance first reading.
First reading, ordinance 2126, an ordinance, excuse me, an ordinance to amend the code of Borough of South River, chapter 193, entitled Vehicles and Traffic by amending section 193-31.1, schedule 11A handicap parking thereof. This is for the intersection Hillside and Clark Street. May I have a motion to accept as introduced?
I'll move that the council pass ordinance 2021-26 on its first reading by title only, and that the clerk be authorized to publish same as required by law for the second reading and public hearing to be held at a meeting at 7 p.m. on December 27th, 2021, in the council chambers of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street in South River, New Jersey, or by video conference via Zoom.
Second. Mr. Indy? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Give me a roll call.
I will do a roll call, yes. Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Gerchinsky?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira?
Yes.
Councilman Olivera?
Yes.
And Council President Seola?
Yes. Okay, moving on, reports. Mr. Zenkin? I'm sorry, Bruce?
Thank you. The 2020-2021 road projects, contractor's beginning work on the water main in Alborn Street and is doing some of the concrete handicap ramps as the weather permits. The 2022 local aid program, the borough received a grant for $457,000 in change for Appleby Avenue, Morningside, and Fifth Street, and we submitted a proposal for our services on that. Electrical substation, the contractor is doing more work out there now. We also today processed a progress payment for them. Well, number two, the contractor is working on site cleanup and the electrical work. The electrical work will probably take another week or so for them to conclude. And I had the DOT local trade impact on there, but because I did this back in late November in anticipation of this meeting, but the extension has expired, so now I will remove that from the future memos. And that is it.
Any questions from Mr. Koch?
I do, Bruce.
Yes.
I'm gonna bring it up one more time, it's getting cold, the corner of Prentice Avenue and Old Chesky Street freezes. I know we had asked you a while ago for a proposal for that, you did give it to us, I know we dropped it. Is it possible for us to add something like that to our 2022 project? I know it doesn't go with the DOT money, but can we add that to that project? It's a dangerous road, one of these days, there's gonna be an accident, somebody's gonna die in that corner because of the way the ice freezes. Every winter. Prentice Avenue and Old Chesky Street, all the water runs down, there's no catch basin there, and it's an ice rink. This is like the third year in a row I ask in the winter time, and I know it hasn't been that cold, but it will be soon, and this is our job, so can we discuss it, can we add it to the bid, if we go out to bid for the 2022 road project, can we add something like that to our bid to make it feasible?
Bruce, can you look at it and just let us know approximately?
We have a proposal that goes back a while.
Yeah, okay.
We can update the price, but I don't think there's going to be a huge change.
Okay.
You can add it as a capital project in the future, or you can consider it for the forthcoming trust fund application.
Yeah, Cam Avenue's the same way too, Cam and Whitehead, that freezes constantly, with the also. So if you can just send something over to Joe so we have it for our budget meetings, then we can go over it and see where it fits in.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, I am going to say this. Thank you.
Good night, Bruce.
Just a few resolutions on the agenda. First one is we have a contract renewal for cleaning services and public works functions. That's for 2022 at the same cost from the bid in 21. You have a resolution for renewal of dental coverage for 2 years at a 3.4% increase. That is from 1/1 of '22 to 12/31 of '23. You have a resolution to enter into agreement with the county for rock salt. Just to let you know, it was $45.48. On 12/1, it goes to $63.55. It's a 40% increase. So we purchased as much rock salt as we could with the prior contract, saving thousands and thousands of dollars. So that the shed, everything's filled down there.
Okay.
I know it's supposed to be a bad winter, but at least we bought whatever we could before December 1st before it went up 40%.
Great, thank you.
Next one, you have a resolution for upgrades to the police department for a mobile visual recorder and interview room camera system through a co-op. You also have renewal for the joint insurance fund for Middlesex County for 3 years. Resolution for 2021 budget transfers, and then DPW is applying for a $5,000 recycling enhancement grant. You have a resolution applying for the grant. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Zanko?
I have a question, Mr. Zanko. I know you have the resolution to approve the annual power cost adjustment.
Yes.
You have that at a 0%. Don't we have the power bought until 2024 as of right now, or is that for?
Yeah, but you do this annually because capacity and transmission spikes and goes up each year. We buy power in the long term, which is a wholesale cost, but capacity and transmission goes up based on the 5 hottest years from the year before. So we could have, 360 days of 30 degree, 40, 50 degree temperatures, and 5 days it's 95 degrees. Our cost is based on those 5 days. So that's an annual cost.
Yes, but I'm asking, so where did we get the 0%? Like, we can't lower the cost of our?
No, our opinion was that the wholesale cost is lower, has been going down each year from buying power in the market, but capacity and transmission has been going up. So if you take the two together, it's almost a level playing field, so that's why we're recommending to not change anything up or down.
And it's never lower? Have we ever had it where we could have dropped the percentage of?
We probably would have if capacity and transmission hasn't skyrocketed in the last couple of years. Right now, you're paying more for transmission capacity than you are for applying the power. Back in the past, power was a lot higher, transmission capacity was a lot lower, now it's flip-flopped. So I mean, that's our recommendation. Council can always decide what to do, but our recommendation is just leave it where it
So we
is.
will not be raising the electric rate next year?
We're not anticipating, the budget committee is gonna meet and so forth, but we're not anticipating it.
But this is saying that we don't have to, correct?
This is saying the power side of it, so your rate is half is power, half is everything else, salaries, bucket trucks, poles, wires. This half of it, 9.9 cents of the rate, is not changing.
Okay, anything else for Mr. Zanko? Okay, Mr. Suarez?
Yes, we're gonna be closed on Friday, the 24th, for Christmas Day, or Christmas Eve, and we'll also be closed for the 31st. There'll be no bulk pickup on those 2 days. Also, there's no change to the recycling. So, and also, the recycling yard will be closed on Saturday for Christmas Day. It'll be open for New Year's Day. That's all right.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Suarez? None? All legal?
I have nothing to.
Thank you. Mr. Lizinski?
The only thing I have to add to what Councilwoman Muir brought up is hopefully in 2023, when our battery storage project is in operation, our transmission fees will go down, and there would be the possibility of possibly a rate reduction. But we have to have a full year of the battery storage to anticipate that. We're anticipating going online in June of this year, 2022, and we would know better in 2023 the savings. There are the guaranteed savings by the company that's operating the battery storage project, but until we actually see that, we can't make any changes. 0 would be the proper way to go. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Lizinski?
I have a question about the battery storage project. So you're saying it should be anticipated for June?
It should start operating in June, yes.
Our contract is for 10 years?
Yes.
Okay. So after the 10 years, what happens?
And it's up to us if we want to enter into a new contract, or if the company wants to back out of the contract and take their material away,
We can have
that's
them
to be
remove
seen.
it, we can buy it, or we can enter into a new agreement to extend it.
Okay, so I was just curious, after that is over, are they liable to then put everything back how it was? So they dug up
Yes,
everything?
Yes, that was the land,
Absolutely.
land agreement, I believe, that, right?
Okay,
We have to see what the battery looks like in 10 years. It might not be, there might be a better one out there, so if we want to continue with the battery program, we might want something better than what's there right now. Because technology changes every year.
that's all I have.
Any other questions? Okay, did I miss anybody out there, or?
I have a question.
Oh, no, again,
I'm
this is
sorry.
professionals, I'm sorry. It'll be a few minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Well, you know, Council, I have one more question. The dental resolution was supposed to be the 23. I think the resolution you have says December 31st of 22. But you're gonna vote on the change. It's a 2-year agreement, not 1-year agreement. When I gave it to Sue, I only put 1 year down. It's supposed to be 2. So that resolution should go to December 31st of 23. Which was 314 resolution.
okay, we'll start down here. Any
Yeah, for my, liaisons. The Board of Health has, decided on their rabies clinic, that's gonna be scheduled for January 22nd. Just in case anybody wanted to know the date, it'll be from 11:30 to 3 o'clock, so, just to keep you guys posted on that. I wanna thank the Riamar who cooked, prepared, and donated, 210 dinners for our food bank for Thanksgiving, Day. We usually have a nice, sit-down lunch with the residents in need, but this year, and last year, they had it all pre-packed and, handed out to everyone. So thank you for them for that donation. The food bank also has a toy drive that, they'll still take donations for any kind of toys until the end of this week, if you'd like to drop it off at the food bank. And I'd like to, thank one of our residents, he's a, business owner, PG Home Inspection. He made a large donation of cozy coats for kids. The food bank gave him some specific colors and sizes for coats for our kids in need in town, and he was able to donate over 100 of those coats. So I'd just like to thank one of our residents for doing that. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Jazinski?
Nothing at this time.
So there.
The library will be closed on December 24th, 25th, 26th, and January 2nd. And it will be closing early on December 31st at 3 p.m. Evelyn asked me to remind everyone that the time capsule items are still on display at the library. But most importantly, something she was really proud of, her and her staff have been applying for a state grant. They received a preliminary notification from the state librarian that they did receive a substantial fund pending governor's signature. So they're very excited about that. Once it's approved, I will be sure to announce that at the next meeting. And then on December 9th, they will be having their family movie night at 6:30 p.m. That's all I have. Oh, Peter.
Okay.
Sorry.
Planning board meeting, next one is on December 21st. We have a lot of interesting projects coming up the pike. You should come out and see what this town is about to bring back, or what the developers are coming with the projects. Parks and Rec, the house decorating contest has started. The last day for registration is December 15th. The actual contest or the judging will be December 17th, which is a Saturday night. And the Christmas tree lighting is this coming Friday, December 10th at 7 p.m. at the War Memorial. So that's
Councilwoman Ellis.
I just have a couple of things. The South River High School Athletic Training Students Assistance Club is holding food drive. Please help support our local food pantry by donating. The drop-off boxes are located by the main office and in the gym by the athletic training office at the high school. The Adopt a Family Club is also seeking donations to assist families in need in the South River Public School System. The food drive bins are located in the main entrance of each school. The hat, mitten, scarf, sock tree trees are located in the main lobby of the primary, elementary, and high school. And the toy drive bins are located in the main lobby of the middle and the high school. And a bin will also be located in the South River Public Library. So all give what you can. That's it.
Okay. And I have one thing, is just that the EDC will be meeting on the 15th to discuss. They have a lot of great ideas for a lot of the redevelopment in town, and they're working on any assistance for new businesses coming into town. So we're working on that. So with that, we're good. And okay, come up to our those appointments. There's no appointments. And no, we just have public comments. At this time, I'd like to open up to the public.
Janice Kaminsky, 46 Foothills Drive. I've been here for the last 2 meetings, and I've had conversations with the borough for over the past year. I believe that the Borough of South River should respond to my request for an alternative inspector for the 400 to 600 pounds of unusable rock salt, construction material, and garbage cans that are partially on my property. In a related complaint regarding code enforcement permits and inspections, the borough attorney assured me in writing that the Borough of South River had received a valid permit and all codes and inspections had taken place. As evident in the over copies of the permit and inspection record, we know that is not true. The permit was not what it was said it was for to be built, and there is no record or signature by an inspector. I requested the information about the inspection of my property complaints of materials on my border, and was told it was by a construction official and no violation was found. No name, no date, no proof. Okay. As you recall, that's what's on my property, so if anybody else wants to see. Okay, right? Okay. And so who do I call? Do I call the police? Because it's on my property?
Code enforcement, what did they say when you called?
What did they say? With the letter?
I was advised that there is no violation. There's no property maintenance violation.
Yeah, and
That's what I was
this
advised.
is, okay, you get violations to people who put garbage out the night before, or too early or too late. Okay, the property inspector, the house across the street from me was for sale. The owner was cleaning his house out, put the garbage inspector. The property inspector, Mr. Durapa, came, actually parked in front of my house and said, "Who lives there? Who lives there?" I'm like, they moved. I don't know. Okay, sticking stickers on the door, violations. Okay, the garbage was gonna be picked up in the next day. This has been for years on my property, years. The rock salt is not usable. Okay, I've lost plants, my landscaper has looked at it and said, it's garbage, it's garbage. Okay, and you're so concerned about environmental causes, rock salt, and I gave you that paper last time from the county agent about rock salt. Okay, the damage to plants and groundwater. So what are we gonna do? Okay, you were silent the last 2 times you were silent.
If I may, Council President.
Sure.
Andrea, why is it that we can't ask for shared services for another, building code to do an inspection? Why can't we ask, since she's not satisfied with ours, why are we not allowed to offer getting one from?
There's nothing that would prevent you to do it, but council, that wasn't the pleasure of council.
Okay, is it the pleasure of the council to satisfy our resident to not look into getting another inspection? She wasn't satisfied.
The DCA is not part of the this is,
They are coming down.
They are coming down.
That is what we've been advised. They're coming down to look at the wall.
right, and that's the wall. My property has there are 2 properties on my border. One is the problem is the wall, that's separate, okay, and that's with DCA, as well as code inspections and reports. Okay, this is the this property is also on my property. Okay, and I showed you this, you know, I have where I'm the only one with corner stakes. They also took down the wall, replaced it. It's still partially on my property.
Have you had a surveyor come
I have a certified,
recently?
okay, yes, last year, with the corner markers. And I reported it to Mr. Eppinger because somebody actually took one of them out and replaced it on one of the corners. Which was also the reason why I asked for the conjoining property survey for verification. And then because I had been told about if it was certified and you couldn't do anything because they presented a certified copy. The certified copy that that homeowner gave were for people who hadn't lived in the house for over 25 years. Okay. And bonus was dead since 1980. Okay, it was not, they weren't even the homeowners.
I have advised Ms. Cortez that the borough cannot get involved in property disputes over property lines. That this is, we do not have the jurisdiction to determine where her property lines lie. So we cannot, the property line dispute is not something that the borough can make a determination on. That's a superior court, that's where she needs to go if there is a property line dispute. We've discussed it before.
Right, but the thing is that you gave them permits. If it was a dispute, and I clearly disputed it with Mr. Eppinger and everyone else, with my certified copy, with my title insurance, everything else, it should never have been given permits to build. It should have been settled between the residents first, before a permit was given. Okay, and you didn't. You let them go, okay?
We base each application on the permit that is, the survey that is submitted by the applicant. As long as the applicant's survey is adequate, it doesn't have to be current, it doesn't have to be other than a copy of the survey, that's what we give, we base it on, that's what we give them their permit on, that's what we gave them a permit.
So I can apply then for a permit to take down the wall and the fence because my certified copy says that. Okay, so I can go to you as well and do the same thing. Because you gave them permission to do it, why wouldn't I have permission to do it?
The wall in question, the wall in question was on the survey of the applicant as to being on his property.
Actually, it is not. If you look at the Oprah report and you look at the map, it's
So
not.
we get back to the situation that it's a owner to owner dispute and they have to take care of it, the borough.
Okay, but that's not why I'm here tonight. I'm here tonight because of this.
Well, then we'll suggest. that we
Okay.
Have you notified them in writing that you feel it's on their property and they should remove it?
Regardless of even it's on their property, why would it be, why would I have to look at this?
This is no different than if somebody's trees are over your property line. You have to give them written
This
notice
is hazardous.
and it says if you don't take care of it in 30 days, then you as the property owner have the right to take care
Okay,
of
so
it.
then how come when the wall was mine and Mr. Scallon owned the house behind me and said, I'm selling my property and your fence is falling apart? Okay, they came and they said, if you don't fix it, you'll get a violation. Okay, see, whenever somebody complains, you go to the person who says it.
So
Okay.
that stuff is on your property now.
Partially on my property and in my vision, okay? So, plus you've got open cement holes in a wall. Okay, I have dogs that I have not been able to put the fence up, and no, I'm not putting a fence up until this is taken care of. Why would I want 600 pounds of rock salt against a brand new fence?
If I may, Council President,
Is it okay? Yeah, Julie.
can we get a second opinion on code enforcement?
And my neighbor complained on her wall that somebody had a wood pile on there. And the property inspector came from Old Bridge and said, oh no, that's a violation. Okay, a wood pile, just a wood pile, not this.
Andrea, are we okay with, we got a second opinion?
Legally, you can do that. We would have to actually find a municipality that would do that for us.
We have shared
But legally, if you would like to, that there's nothing preventing us from doing it.
legally we can do that.
We have shared services, don't we have shared services?
But isn't it in your own code that says that you can't have litter and everything else? It's on my property. Do I call the cops and then they? You know,
It's on full your property.
partially on my property. Okay, they put the stuff on top of the wall to get it out of their you know, what, should I go put my garbage cans down there too?
So I have a question, you said it's partially on your property, so if it got moved off of your partially over your property.
Take it down, take it off the wall, so it's away from my property, yeah.
Okay.
Right? I mean, why would you wanna keep 600 pounds of rock salt that's unusable, it's hard as a rock?
I'll go speak to that owner of that house. I'll ask him to move it.
And clean it all up.
Why wouldn't we just ask an inspector to go in?
And one,
Because the reason being is because if we bring in another inspector and he says it's okay, it's
But
gonna
you're
be.
not an official, that's what like, why wouldn't we?
Yeah, and why did Mr. Droppa tell me, I have the email which I sent to you. Okay, I have it in writing from Mr. Droppa that said a violation has been sent. And then all of a sudden, everything stopped. He took pictures, he took measurements. And then everything stopped,
Can
okay?
we,
And who stopped them?
can we ask Mr. Droga to go and inform the resident that it's partially on yours and move it off yours, so it's all on his?
That's fine, but you know, that's what was supposed to be.
I know,
I
but there's
would
the property
caution
thing.
council with that because that becomes a property dispute over a property line. And if that property owner indicates that that's his property, that something that we should not be getting into, we do not have jurisdiction, we do not have the authority.
Well, then
to
how did you have the
determine
door-
property lines are.
How did you have the authority to say that they could take my wall down and my fence down? You gave them, they ripped it down. And the owners of the property actually said to me that someone, and it's in writing, if you want proof, because it's in writing on the day it happened, that he told me that because it's on his property line, that I was told by the Borough of South River that I could just rip it right out without even telling you.
And the storage, your 10 minutes is up on that, we have to go with the legal recommendation right now.
No, yeah, I know, and what? What's the legal recommendation? It's not a property line dispute. It's garbage.
If code enforcement
Okay.
were to rock and not
If
like
you put-
garbage, but he would
Yeah,
stop
you
it
can't-
in violation. She's not happy with our code enforcement, why wouldn't we give her a second opinion? She's a resident.
I mean, you put stickers and you give fines to people for putting garbage cans out in the evening.
That's council's pleasure.
Yes.
Thank Art, can you make arrangements for that, please?
I'll try. I don't think it's gonna be difficult to find somebody who's gonna wanna step on another code enforcement
I know.
officer's toes. What I will do for the council is have Mr. Droppa put his report to the council in writing, confidential memo.
Okay.
And I would like a copy of that, because as I said, I have a copy from,
It's confidential.
well, but I have a copy from Mr. Droppa saying that it was a code violation.
We will discuss.
Okay,
We will discuss it.
discuss, thank you. Is there anybody else from the public?
Richard Byrne, 11 Cassette Place. Don't you like the days when I'm the only member of the public here and I don't take the whole 10 minutes and, all right. So I just wanted to speak to Resolution 312 where you're writing off any balance less than $10 on, I guess, every account, I guess. That's a good idea because I've read horror stories where particularly senior citizens will one woman in Essex County forgot to pay her taxes by like 7 days, and they were charged interest $3.12, but then paid the taxes, but forgot to pay the $3.12, and that got carried forward to tax sale, and the tax certificate for $3.12, and then 2 years later, the lien holder foreclosed on that tax lien certificate for $3.12. And the woman lost her house because she got all these notices in the mail and didn't know what they were. Well, and thank you for having that sort of consideration for small balances to get rid of them to protect people from that sort of not abuse of power, but abuse of the system by these lien holders. But thank you. Thank you.
I just have a question
Come on
from
up,
this.
come up to the mic.
I have to go there?
State your name and address, please.
Benita Esteves, 42 Raritan Avenue. It's for Mr. Oliver. I just wanted to ask you, is that why you ran for councilman? So you could shut down the soccer club? That I love and we all love and I enjoy going watching my grandchildren? That's the first thing in South River that had something nice. You go there on Saturday and watch the kids, you talk to your friends that you don't see sometimes for a year or 6 months. And now what, we're gonna lose that because what, you're gonna save the town by doing that? Is that how you intend to raise money for this town and to do whatever you have to do? Because plenty of things to do and you have to go and start with a little thing. Is that why?
Ms. Estevez, I
Yes.
took an oath to serve everyone on this, in the borough,
Okay.
alright? I understand everyone's frustration with this.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous. So ridiculous that with so many things to do, you go and start with a little thing. That it's for the first time ever, that it's something in place, that it works and it's nice and it's good. I pay taxes for many, many years. And my taxes went up $2,000 in this year. So what, and now my grandchildren can go and play because somebody like you, and I don't know if the rest of you think the same way, don't think they should be there anymore.
Well, you guys were provided a lot of misinformation, that's not true.
Well, that's
You
it.
know, and the thing that I implore you guys just to speak to us. You know, I received a lot of calls, I spoke to residents, and when we explained what was happening, you know, they understood.
Well, I know you since you were a baby, you should know better than do whatever you're doing. And like I said, if the rest of you think the same way, shame on all of you. Thank you very much, and good night.
Thank you. Anybody else on call? First call, second call?
First, I'd like to thank the parents and the kids, most of them left already, but shows when the community comes together, what can happen. It's unfortunate, you know, it's, for a better lack of a term, you weren't a recycled politician. You know, you're in. What's the most important thing that's on your agenda? And this is what you wanted to get across. It's sad, you know, it's very, I could walk away and I'll be fine. But the proof is in the pudding, there's been nothing before us where the kids will be fine. You know, you guys don't have one successful program. There's not one program you could lay your hat on and say, our rec basketball is the best and this and that. Our baseball is your baseball is it's struggling. Yeah, we have to combine with another township to make a little for a better term, a little league where they have 4 or 5 teams. And there's ways we could if it's money that you guys want. We have over 120 people in our club. So you figure our reach is 120 kids times 2 parents. It's 360 people. So you put a sign up that says favorite cheeseburger, wherever your favorite cheeseburger spot is. And they're gonna see that sign 10 times a day. 10 times every time they go there, times 360 people. That's 3,600 opportunities that somebody's business, whatever it be. It's a donation, but it's also a marketing tool. So when you're with your family, it's like, hey, what do you want to eat tonight? Cheeseburger, and things like that. Like I said, you guys are looking for help to do in the community where we have. You see, like they showed up. They're ready to help. We've been out there. We're one of the best people we have in this town is Age. Age is, I don't know what we're paying him, but it's not enough. He's a great guy. Honestly, he through COVID and can't expect miracles. You know, what's more important, cutting the grass or going to pick up the garbage? So if somebody happens to be in protocol where they're in health and safety in their home, you got to do the right thing for town, right? For a borough, he's got to do. And we don't go, I don't go on social media and say, hey, look at us and we're doing this or that. We're very, very grateful for everything he's done and the borough, all of you guys. And we just don't understand why you're changing the line. You guys should be proud of what we started with 27 kids. And it's not like we're going to East Brunswick or North Brunswick or Sayreville. I'm proud of the kids that are from other towns. I am. but we're not going there looking for them. If they come, it's awesome, you know, like, you know how hard it is they all have turf. And there's ways we can help each other, you know, like we could put New Jersey Youth Soccer is looking for a community to have referee courses. Like we could host it at the high school or at the Portuguese Club or whatever location we could work together. But the fields are inadequate. Like the fields, like Varga Park hasn't been used. When's the last time somebody pulled a permit for Varga Park? Like when's the last time any of yous honestly walked Varga Park? Because I seen that we're spending money on Leonardine to buy nice bells and whistles on the swing set, whatever, 40,000 or 50,000 we spent at Leonardine, and then the same thing at Fitzpatrick's.
That's all grants.
Okay. At Varga Park, the benches are older than anybody on this board, and older than anybody here. Like it's embarrassing. Like there's things at Veterans Drive Athletic Field, it hasn't been stained. The fence in the parking lot hasn't been stained in how long? The parking lot, there's not one parking lot in town at our parks that have lights. It's scary for some of these parents to go and take their kids at the end of the day in the parking lot when there's no lights. And the biggest issue that we've had, the club, we deal with referee assigners, we deal with other coaches, parents, kids, you name it, and we deal with a lot of different people from a lot of different aspects. And by far, your parks department is either the most incompetent or malicious department I've ever dealt with in my life. There's things, and I've shown you guys. I've shown you guys the incompetence, and you guys, not one time have you guys been like, they turn off the lights on you when there's kids. Like, you guys all just turned your head and hoped it went away. And now you're trying to pass this. It didn't pass, but you guys are trying to implement this and hope, like, I'm not the bad guy. Like, we go and get background checks. Like, we go every single year. Like, every coach you see around me, any coach that you see around a kid, they went to get a background check. They know what's right and wrong. They know not to be one-on-one with a child. They know what's right and what's wrong. Is there going to be a parent? Like, I'm sure there's a parent that came here and was upset and said that whatever they want to say. Like, I sleep well at night. If they want to come here and we put all the facts on the table, we can present. We take everybody's health very seriously. So if somebody wants to jeopardize somebody's health, we're not going to play with that and things of that nature. So they can say what they want, but I know it's right, and I like, we're trying. It's so hard to get a girls. So last year we have in the girls program, the 2013s in the rec, we had 12 girls that were 2013, and 4 of them were ready to play travel. So they went. One went to East Brunswick, one went to Old Bridge, one went to they went, and now the other 5 are ready to play. And now it's like I can't even form a team. I can't. Like, you guys could help, but like you guys could be the reason why. Like, you guys can help us. Like, we've been a sleeping giant. Like, our community is the only one in Middlesex County. And I know it's not you because you guys aren't on the Board of Education, but we're the only district in Middlesex County. Go take a look. The only district in Middlesex County that plays on a middle school baseball field. And we had both our varsity boys and girls make the semifinals. And it's been like that since I remember walking up Hillside and since the early 80s. It's like, you guys can make the change. Like, you guys can go there and be the change that needs to be done. And yes, like Peter, like, I'd like to, like, it's not about politics to me. Like, Julie treats me great. This one treats me, like, I treat people, and my parents can tell you, I treat you the way you treat me. I'm transparent. I'm honest. I'm a hard worker. I don't go on social media and say, hey, we gave the kids, you made honor roll, here's this money. Or here, like, every mom got this for Mother's Day or whatever. Like, we just, if you do good, you just have to do it. And the way you guys are making it seem, like, you guys buried your head in the sand time after time after. I was telling you, like, look, we're getting canceled because it's rain in the forecast, and here's FC Europa using the field in the rain the following day on a Monday. And they don't give a crap about our town. There's water bottles everywhere. You know, like, I don't know if he could vouch for it or his guys could. When, like, I go to Varga, I'll be done in 1 second. I'm done in 1 second. When I go to Varga and I see water bottles on the ground around the soccer goals, guess what? I pick it up because we're the only ones that have the permit. So when his guys go there, Who do you think that put the water bottles there? They're gonna think it was us, because we're the only ones with the permits. And it's awesome to see kids that aren't even part of the club, just using the soccer ball. I've never once kicked off a kid from using the goal, like, hey kid, your parents not giving, not one child knows, there's a lot of kids here tonight where their parents, if you guys implement your fees, they won't, about 10 to 15% of them won't be able to play. Like, that's the God honest truth. I'm not trying to embarrass anybody. There's a gentleman here that just had, he's one of 6, all right? He has his mother-in-law that's retired. He has his wife that doesn't work. He has a newborn baby that's less than a month, and he has 2 kids in the program. So I charge.
Time's up, I'm sorry, we have to keep moving on with this, we understand. That's why we are going to have this and have meetings. Peter's gonna meet with you, and we're gonna come up with a good game plan that's gonna work for everybody.
Okay.
So thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to everybody for your time.
Anybody else in the public?
Quick one for me. Jack Ally, 198 Main Street. Well, I'm up here to represent Little League today. Also, I know that, actually, they are a competitor of Little League, to be honest with you, they play at the same time. And a lot of the kids that are in their program probably would be playing baseball if there wasn't that program. But we're gonna work on competing with you. We're not dead yet. We are not dead yet. We had teams join with Old Bridge in the fall league, not in the spring baseball league. So we're hoping to build up again this year. Early registration is open for Little League right now, so please sign your child up before January 1st and you can get a discount. If you go to the Little League Facebook page, you'll see what that discount is. I think it's about $35 you'll save. And Little League is great. We have our burgers and fries on Saturday, and there's a concession stand, so you can spend the whole day with your family watching other kids play. And even if don't have any kids in the league, come down and see what's happening there. If you want to see some fun baseball with little kids playing, come on down. It's great. It is. It's a beautiful facility. And we rent that from the town. We lease it. I think it's a 100-year lease. The town owns that property. So I was a little concerned about this thing with Little League too, because it might be considered a park if you designated that. The other question I had was 2 meetings ago, I asked about if we could use the borough electric bill as a way to promote Little League. I was told that you were going to look into it. Has there been any information on that you know of, Ms. Wyatt?
If that is the pleasure of council, I don't know if there was a discussion with council.
Can we do that without the only flyers that I know of that have ever gone into the electric bill for borough operated functions?
I know it could open a can of worms, but I would say let us do it, and if the can of worms opens up, we'll deal with it later. Let's not prevent one.
Mr. Ally, if you would though, if you could send me a Word document on your thing, I'll get it up on our website.
Okay, I will get that. We have a flyer.
To send every organization's gonna ask.
I understand that. I agree. I get it, because know what's gonna happen. If you say yes, next meeting, I'm gonna come for Pop Warner, so. I get it, but I would say, do it. Why not? I mean, even if the organizations are willing to pay some of the costs for it.
That's a whole lot.
I know, but if 4 or 5 organizations do it, I don't think that's big a deal. I know, but that's the thing. I think that even Little League and Pop Warner would be willing to cover some of those costs, or all the costs if we had to.
That's what we put it up on the borough website.
Because there's nothing like having something on your kitchen table that promotes your program. Thank you, guys.
All right, take care. Anybody else?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Salvador Rodriguez. I live at 46 Hillside Avenue. I just have a quick question about the soccer field and regarding Mr. Ginty's comment about the Portuguese club maintaining the field. So I'd like to just, as a member of the Portuguese club and as a citizen here, I just want to find out what is the agreement between the township and the Portuguese club as to who's doing what. Dale Espan, yes.
That was me that said that. Yeah. So in 2015, when Steve Costa ran the soccer program for the Portuguese club, Daly's Pond was cut by DPW, but the Portuguese club was responsible for lining the fields and making sure the goals were up. And then I believe, do you remember when it was donated?
I never heard that it
It
was
was never
donated.
donated.
I know that,
In 2008, there was,
The town put the lights up and the Portuguese club was gonna lay the field.
yes,
That was
that's
it.
right, they were
That was
gonna,
it.
yes.
They laid the field, the town put the lights up, the Portuguese club, my soccer team at the time also used the field as well. All they were in charge of doing was ensuring that there was a field dug and flattened, and they lined it, and then the goalposts were put, and then technically it went to the Parks and Rec Department, which then got split with the DPW, and it was supposed to be maintained by
And
the
then the
town.
Knights played
not
there at
the
one
borough.
time, right, Mr.
And the Knights were
The
practicing.
Knights have been practicing there since the fifties.
So that was just my question, as a member of the Portuguese club and obviously as a citizen, who's obligated to do what? This way we can meet at a level to say, hey, you know, we're supposed to be doing this, but as Mr. Concordella said, we did our part, or the South River Portuguese Club did their part, I suppose, right? So I believe it's the township's responsibility to maintain it. I mean, I'm just, thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Is there anybody else from the public? First call, second call.
Tony Cucurdellis, 93 James. I want to thank the council for not voting on the ordinance tonight. I just want to make two quick corrections. One, on the 90% rule, you're absolutely right, it's not in the ordinance. What the ordinance does read though is that the Borough Youth team shall be exempt, and any disputes over what team or groups are exempt shall be decided by the borough administrator. So who knows if a previous administrator said, hey, I don't want to be a part of it, just make it 90%, and it's done, but ultimately it's a borough youth group with a lot of borough kids in it. So whether it's 90% or majority, I think it still kind of falls into the same. Also, when there was a comment made about pricing before, Mr. Alberto, you mentioned something about out of town and in town. The new ordinance does not distinguish between out of town and in town. So when you guys revisit this, I hope you do, because I really hope that you guys make a consideration for South River teams versus Cedarville and East Brunswick and Old Bridge, because otherwise, you know, what are we doing here? And for the attorney through the chair, you mentioned Green Acres and Rossi. Is that? Is there either a website or somewhere we can do a little research on that as well, or
NJDEP website.
NJDEP?
Yeah, the DEP website, if you just put it in the website and search Green Acres, it'll come up. And just a point, so just so you're aware, for the record it's clear, there isn't a differentiation between for the lighting fees, but for the use fees there is. So for use fees, there was one price for resident teams or nonprofit, and then another price for non-resident team or for-profit. So just to
So the
let
lighting-
you know,
the lighting was the
lighting,
only part.
you are correct when it comes to
Stand
the
corrected,
lighting.
then that's why I didn't read that part.
The lighting was blanket, but the use was different.
But the idea that we can't charge more for out of town, I mean, that, first time I'm hearing it. And you guys have known I've been involved for 20 years here. First time I'm ever hearing about Green Acres or something that says we cannot, you know, charge more for out of town versus in. Why isn't this type of information coming out a little bit earlier or being looked at? So I'm gonna look at that as well. Thank you.
Anybody else from the public? First call, second call, third and final call? All in favor? Carried. Moving on with the agenda. Let's see. We're at consent resolutions.
Whereas resolution 2021 authorizes the Borough Council to utilize the consent agenda to adopt various resolutions of routine and non-controversial nature at one time. Now therefore be it is hereby resolved that the below listed resolutions are hereby adopted by the Borough Council in whole as if the same were individually acted upon. Resolution 307, accept November 15th regular and executive session council minutes. 308, appoint additional winter recreation department employees. 309, authorize payment of January 2022 South River Board of Ed taxes. 310, appoint firefighter Thomas Drapa. 311, approve annual power cost adjustment. 312, authorize cancellation of balances less than $10. 313, authorize contract renewals for cleaning services. 314, authorize contract renewal for dental coverage for a 2-year span. 315, authorized purchase of rock salt. 316, authorized purchase of mobile vision recorder and interview room camera system. 318, authorized transfer of 2021 budget appropriation. 319, authorized submission of Middlesex County Recycling Enhancement Grant. 320, authorized December 6th utility refunds. 321, authorized bills and claims list. 322, appoint hearing officer. 323, appoint full-time crossing guard. 324, authorized repair of 3 manholes. May I have a motion?
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Ballas, second by Councilman Gindi, all in favor? Roll call, I'm sorry.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Abstentions?
I said yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Where she's ahead of you.
All right, I abstained, 310, 321, bills, 21-02621, 02828, 02407, 02535, 02469, 02668, 02869, 02870, and 02672.
Thank you. Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira?
Yes.
Councilman Olivera?
Yes.
And Council President Seola?
Yes, with the extension of 310, and on 321, duplicate Mr. Gindi's exclusions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Governing body comments. Ms. Mayor?
Me first?
Yeah.
Okay, I had a quick question about the bills, I know we passed them, but, I guess this would go to either Art or Mr. Adriano. Are we still fixing our own fire hydrants?
Yes,
We are? So the one that was on the bill list was emergency?
we don't fix ones that are hit in automobile accidents, that's an insurance claim.
Okay,
So that goes through the private contractor. Anything other than that is done by interlocal agreement.
okay, and then, because I thought about that, I thought our shared service agreement is with East Brunswick, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I guess trying to assist with our residents complain, if it's possible to reach out to East Brunswick regarding code enforcement. We'll leave that to you. I just wanna congratulate all the Hall of Famers for the South River High School Hall of Fame. A special shout out to Mr. Fred Mazzelli, who I've known for many years. And Michael Robinson, who's class of 2007, graduated with me. Other than that, I'm happy that the council members today realize that maybe we need to assess things. Looking at rates, you see how passionate our residents are and how they want us to succeed, but we do have to listen to them. We advocate for them, and I think often we forget that, so I'm looking forward to seeing how much discussion we have and what our rates will look like. Ultimately, we own the electric, we own the fields, and we need a better game plan for this. Other than that, I do not have anything. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. We will be back one more time this year. Thank you.
Mr. Kuczynski.
Thank you, Council President. First off, I'd like to thank all of our public service workers, our police, fire, and Robert Wood. Also, our tree lighting is coming up on this weekend. Also, the Hanukkah is just, I believe it ends tonight. And Christmas is coming. Let's enjoy the season. Let's watch out for each other. Also, tomorrow will be Pearl Harbor Day, so if you think of it, keep it in your hearts and remember it was passed back quite a while ago, because just like Patriots Day and Memorial Day, we'd like to remember that day, not forget it and put it into the past. With that, I thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Olivera.
So as Councilman Gindi mentioned, we have the tree lighting at 7 p.m. on Friday. Ms. Mayor also mentioned P&G home inspections. Peter's my neighbor. He's been doing this, I think, for 2 years now with the jackets. I know him and his wife are very passionate about the town, and they will definitely look to get involved. With that said, we have a ton of open board positions. If you're interested in getting involved with the town, I know the Rec Advisory Board, if I'm not mistaken, I think we have 4 or 5 positions open there. So again, please let someone know, and we can definitely let the mayor know. In terms of just a safety reminder, it is supposed to snow tomorrow, so I don't know how bad it's gonna be, especially with the weather. Make sure everyone drives safe. There's still a lot of kids walking to school. I just wanted to wish everyone a happy holidays, and we'll see everyone on the 27th.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
That's it.
Anyone else?
I know Council President's gonna bring this up, but there is going to be around the schools on this Friday will be our first test of the recycling men. We're having a lot of problem with them picking up the garbage, the recycling on Fridays when school hours are in effect, causing quite a bit of traffic and aggravation. So he will explain what the schedule will be, so if anybody sees that they're not following it, let us know.
Please.
Because it's become a big headache there right now. And other than that, I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Give what you can to those in need. There are Toys for Tot boxes around, there's food drives going all over town, so give what you can.
Thank you. As Mr. Bell said, we had complaints from some of the parents about the recycling trucks and the Board of Ed about them in the areas when the parents are dropping off the kids, trying to pick up the kids. A few people had said that they were speeding, I don't know how fast they can go on David Street, but they weren't yielding to the children crossing the street. So I got in touch with Sergeant Girk, and I also notified the recycling company, spoke to their supervisors. And Sergeant York and the supervisor got together and they put times in when the recycling trucks cannot be in the school zones. So we're gonna try it out for the first time this week. It is, I believe, 7 a.m. to 9, and then 2:15 to 3:45, I believe it is. So that's gonna start this week. If anybody does see the recycling trucks, please let us know, contact headquarters, ask for Sergeant Gerg. Leave them a message that we can try and rectify the problem. I just don't wanna see, God forbid, anybody getting hit by a garbage truck or run over, which has happened in the past. But we just wanna try and protect everybody. So again, with that, happy holidays to everybody. Our next meeting is December the 27th. So it'll be after Christmas vacation for people. So again, everybody have a happy holiday, a safe holiday, and we will see you then. Thank you. Is there anything else to come before the council?
Motion to adjourn.
You have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Second by Spells. All in favor?
Aye.
So carried.